Hello.
Hey, how are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I am okay, trying to manage people.
Your growing community. Your growing community.
Growing pains, as they say. Let me write a bit of a post. Okay. Kessia is
Kessia, or just call
Kessia.
me Kes. Either or.
How's your day going?
Good. I'm stoked that it's Friday. I'm gonna go for some dinner after this, have some drinks.
Where are you going for dinner?
I don't know. Somewhere on the water.
All right.
Maybe
Nice.
get some wine, some pizza. It's been a long week, so I'm pretty excited to end
A long happy week or a long sad week?
No, a long good week.
Long
I did 3 sales and 4 down payments this week, of which I'm sure like 3 for sure are going to be closes. And so that's just really cool because like every single day it's been like 1 or more than 1, and that's just never happened for me. So like I'm just feeling good and like not feeling dread for calls and not getting off the calls being like, whoa, for fuck's sake. That was an energy drink.
How many sales would you have done on a normal week before you?
1 or 2. 1 or 2. And a lot of them, like I said, were like older people coming back, being like, okay, I want to join the program. So it's just been a big shift. And like, yeah, from let's say the first 2 weeks, 1 sale, then I joined Objection Box, 3 sales, 1 deposit, then this week 3 sales, 4 down payments. So
yeah, it'll only get better. Like, and that's the thing. Once you start to kind of have that confidence and certain conviction in your voice, and you carry yourself with that level of authority, you'll only get better. That's just a fact.
Yeah.
Adam is coming. Hello. 1 second. Let me let Adam in.
My biggest takeaway that I've loved is like, get a no or get a commitment. It's so good. And I told this person today on the phone, she had 2 screaming kids. She was changing their nappies. She was all this stuff. I was just like, no, like, let's not do this. And before I probably would have just like pushed through it for no good reason. And I'm like, is this a good time? Like, no.
Leave them be. Yeah. Let them come back when they're ready. Bill, should I hop on with you or not? I've got a hard cut off at 1/2 again.
Yeah, no, fine. You can fuck off at 1/2.
1/2. Okay.
What are you doing at 1/2?
I'm making you money.
Oh shit! You're not making me money, buddy. It's costing me money.
and time and energy and life energy.
Yeah, all of those good things. Let's figure out. I always have a thing to figure out when I go live.
Yeah, I'll check at this end as well.
I always have pet hate.
These struggles when I'm watching them. And my life, I hate technology. I'm terrible at technology.
Yeah, that is literally it. It's like, oh my god, I can't believe we've technology again.
Bill struggles to tie his shoes.
Cool. Are we live? We are live.
I can't see it yet.
Oh, we are. Good. Okay. Welcome. A little bit different today. I am in sunny Lisbon. Adam is in La La Land, and Kessia, is all the way over on the African continent. So it just goes, one thing, it just goes to show, like, your skill can be translated everywhere and anywhere. It doesn't matter where you are in this world. It doesn't matter what you ultimately sell or do. Once you have the right skill, you can make money no matter where you are. So what I want to do is I want to welcome you today to us. I appreciate everything that you've done, everything that you're doing, and everything that you will continue to do as you build and scale inside. What I want to do is I just want to share your story a little bit. Why? Because I think it's powerful. I think it's powerful because, in my opinion, you're selling something that is really, really hard. And there's no tangible outcome instantly. So there's an awful lot of fear, trust in action. There's an awful lot of uncertainty in what you're doing, and how you've pierced that over the last maybe 2-3 weeks. You've really started to understand it, and the results have just spoken for themselves. So firstly, a big welcome from me and Adam. The second thing is just give us a little bit of a context of who you are, where you are, what you're doing, and what you sell, and how you sell it. And then what I want you to do, if you can, is just give us a little bit of a synopsis of what you've achieved over the last couple of weeks, if that's fair.
Yeah, for sure. My name is Kessia and I am in Uganda. I've been living here for the last 6.5 years. So it's been pretty cool to be able to work from home, get into the objection box and see results really, really quickly. I work with a holistic nutritionist specializing in eczema. So we have a 6-month program helping people to heal their skin. I've been doing it for about actually less than a year. So my first exposure to sales would have been October last year. Never been in sales before, always in customer service and hospitality. I was the GM of a 15-acre resort. So it's been a big shift between going from that sort of customer is always right mentality to sort of helping people get out of their way with sales.
Customer's never right, in our word.
Yeah, it was a hard one to break, and it's still ingrained. So yeah, I kind of never really had any formal training. It's just been myself and my best friend building this business together, doing setting, doing copywriting, doing sales. So I really jumped in the deep end with investing in an elite sales training program for my first kind of exposure. And it was definitely the right decision. So
you're like, here's a cliff, fuck it, let me jump off it. That's what you just basically just said there. Yeah,
basically.
And without being a shithead, we weren't the first people that you looked at. We weren't the first people that you were exposed to. Without naming names. So that's nice.
I'd kind of been floating in and out thinking, is this something that I want to do and really level up? And nothing resonated with me. And then I joined your page. I booked a call that very night. And I got on thinking like, let me just see how it goes. And everything resonated really, really well with me on the call and also in the program, because it's just common sense, right? I was chatting with Adam yesterday.
It's not so common practice though, is it? Common sense is not so common practice.
No, but yeah, it's just common sense, human behavior.
That's the thing, right? I've always said to people, like, the simpler I can make this, the more you're going to make. And I've been around people that make things super, super complicated and super, super high level and super, super like really, you have to have an IQ of like 1,000 to understand it. And it's great. It's great for the actual person, because in their opinion, they're like 5 steps above everyone else and like how great they are, and they have a God feature and all those God complexions. But that's going to put you in a position where you're not going to learn. And if you're not learning, you're not earning. And I've always learned that myself. Like the faster I learned that concept, the more I learned, the more I earned, the more I actually made. And that's what it's all about. And it's not, as you say, it's not all about just making money. It's about helping a lot of people. And the only way you can actually help a lot of people is by doing what? Make money. So it's don't ever feel afraid, or don't any of you out there, don't ever feel afraid of wanting to make money, because that's all you can be paid. You can't be paid in anything else other than hard-earned cash. Let me ask you this: what were you struggling with before you actually came in? Because that's quite interesting.
I was struggling with a lot of things. I was doing 1.5 to 2 hour calls. Easy. If it was a sale, it would be 1 hour 40, maybe to 2 hours. I would leave the call feeling very exhausted. A lot of people would cry on the sales calls with me, so it would take a lot.
Do you ever cry?
You included.
I have cried, and my partner's actually made fun of me for it. You get like the goosebumps and the tears, and I just feel their pain. But with the new approach, that's shifting from focusing on so much negativity to focusing on positivity and where you want to be. So 2 hour closes, it was a lot of priming to get them to buy. Like the funnels were working well. And somebody kind of told me, well, you're more of a sales checkout page right now with your skills. than being an actual person in sales. And they were right when I thought about it. Like, yeah, we're putting all this effort into the back end to get them there. I didn't know that think about it in partner were even smoke screens. Like I was very, very green. So when I learned that, I'm like, oh, yeah, this all makes so much sense. So yeah, and just like anxiety, like what's this call gonna bring? Am I gonna get into a fight with somebody? Are they gonna give me limited information and I have to try and pull their pain and like really unravel that? Because that's what I was taught.
Yeah.
And also the big heavy investment at the end of it. And then I was taught to go silent and just say nothing for as long as possible and count. And I tried. Sometimes I would fake type, I would write in my notebook, I think, fuck, this is awkward. And on the first role play, it was Anthony, and he goes, do you actually do that? I was like, yeah. He goes, stop doing that immediately. Like, just don't do it anymore, ever. And that has just absolutely changed my life.
Wow.
You were like that too, Adam, weren't you? That anxiety, that fear, that hesitation, not knowing what to do and how to do it, but also not knowing what the outcome would actually be.
Yeah, it's awful. It was awful before working with you. Yeah, just the run up to the call, and you're just looking at the clock, and you're like, oh fuck, here we go again. Here we go again. It's going to be a slugfest. Am I going to be over for the next call? Am I going to actually get the job done? Am I going to end up feeling like a chump again? Because, you know, I did everything I thought I was supposed to, and they sold me on the idea that it was a better idea for them to go and think about it when I know that's not the case. And I'm just going to feel like an idiot and just, oh, what a terrible way to spend a day.
Yeah. What do you think really helped, Kessia?
2 hours instead of like 30, 40 minutes. Like it's a chunk.
Yeah. You could have 4 calls done in 2 hours if you think about it, like if you get really, really efficient at it. What do you think has really been the difference, do you feel, without blowing smoke? Because I don't do the smoke thing and I don't do the whole pat my back kind of thing, but it's all about you, what you feel, and everyone has different answers, and that's why I asked that question, because it allows me to figure out where people are really soaking things up. What do you think has really shifted, you feel?
I think a huge one for me is the way that the pitch is, and putting the investment sort of at the forefront. And then they have all this time to soak it up and sort of work their way around it. And I saw that that was how I processed when we did our discovery call. So that's a big one for me, because by the time it's not like this big heavy thing, it's like, okay, so this is the investment. Okay, cool. I also think with the questions, I felt like I had to talk for so long to get people to really buy into what we were doing. And I was coaching them so much. And this is very much so like, just question, move on, question. It doesn't need to be so drawn out. So shorter call times. Today I had a call that was 33 minutes. The girl's in, and I was looking at the clock, and I'd gone through everything, and it was 33 minutes. And then I was just kind of having a chat with her. she's and I was like, whoa, this is actually insane. Yeah. And like Adam knows, I talk quite a bit too. So I was like, man, I probably could get this down to like 25 if I was really focused.
Honestly, yeah, I've been working on that in role plays. Like there's so much we can still cut out. We can still get you so much more effective still.
You've gone from 2 hours down to like 36, 34 minutes, 32 minutes.
I'd say like solid average being like 45 minutes. Yeah. For the last couple of weeks. And the changes were instantaneous as well. The first day I was like, okay, my script is fucked. I'm throwing out my script and I'm changing everything from jump. I think you were like, well, don't do it all at once. I'm like, go bigger.
Oh, it's already done. You're like, oh no, it's already done. I was like, oh, okay, fuck, here we go then. That's what you said. And I was like, all right. Like, that's the worst thing I want you to do. And you're like, I've just done it. I was like, all right, fuck, we can go back now. Let's move forward. And okay, Adam, like, speak to her, like, get her rocking, because just
wrap it up.
Just literally just thrown off the deep end again. So
and the first time I ran it, it was a paid in full, and I've gotten, I think, like 4 paid in fulls over the last, like, I've only been in the program for 2.5 weeks. I've gotten 4 paid in fulls. Before that, I've probably gotten 4 paid in fulls ever.
Since October.
It's crazy.
Yeah. What's been the big goal, or what's been the big kind of like, you know, achievements that you've had since you've actually started? Because you're not even a full month in, I don't think, are you? When are you coming?
No, I'm 2.5 weeks.
Yeah. So in 2.5 weeks, you've gone from getting like 4 or 5 full paid in fulls as well as all the other sales, whereas you've only ever got 4 paid in full since October. That's a big golden nugget, isn't it? What else have you achieved?
Well, like in the weeks prior to joining the program, I was just having a slump. I was doing like 1 sale a week, sale a week. And then I joined the program, and that week I did 3 sales and 1 down payment. And then the second week I've done 3 sales and 4 down payments, of which I'm confident 3 of them are done as sales. So that's really cool. I've also massively increased our uptake of guys. For me, the way that my approach was, which is
I'd love to hear more about that.
Yeah, because I think, you know, how I was taught was focus on this pain. And with guys, like I'd get a lot of, I don't know, like it affects my self-confidence, or I feel frustrated. And I was taught, dig.
I'm going to say something to you now, and you're going to be like, that's weird. When you do something like that with a man, right, and you're doing like just going in the capacity that what you're going in, as they say. Now, this might sound unprofessional, but fuck it, I'm just off the cuff and I just speak what I speak. You're a good looking girl, right? So like you're a pretty girl in your sense, and you're like, you can speak and you're quite confident in yourself. You start digging at somebody in an emotional standpoint, and that person doesn't feel good about themselves. That person is a little bit hesitant around their eczema. They're a little bit uncertain about their confidence. You could speak that way to me, because I'm like, you're not going to find a more confident person in how I look and how I feel. You know what I mean? But if you're talking to somebody that doesn't feel like that, you are literally going to get shudders straight away. And that's all I took away straight away from what you said, because you have a presence. Not only are you confident in how you look, but you're confident in how you speak, and you're confident in how you move, which is a great attraction, okay, as a female and as a man. Like, we all have different things. But if you're speaking to somebody that doesn't have that about themselves, you are literally going to shut that person down. That is exactly why you weren't making sales.
And I can clearly see, and like the stats just speak for themselves. Like I've gotten credit card details from 4 people since last Friday, that are men. And before that, I think I've signed up 3 men to the program in total, and 2 of them were gay. So very clear correlation to see what's going on. Yeah. And this is like, focus on goals, right? Where do you want to be?
Bill. I'm in Amsterdam. I'm actually going to the Pride Festival this weekend in Amsterdam.
All right, so it's still 2022. Like, what's wrong with
that? We're all inclusive here, but that's it, isn't it, Kessia? Because now getting a North Star, pulling people forward. I'm not saying you're bringing them up to your level, but you're just talking to their future self, because they don't like who they are right now, and they don't like who they've been in the past. And this goes for lead gen. This goes for business coaching. Like a business owner who's been struggling the past year, he doesn't want to talk about that because he's embarrassed and it's annoying, and he knows all of his problems, but he just wants a solution. He doesn't want to give you all of his shit. You're not his therapist. And it just makes so much sense, doesn't it? That you can just draw them, drag them into that future, and then you've already got that gap, and then you can just help people move forward with their life. That's what we're here for. We're not therapists. Yeah, and the result shows. Fucking, I love seeing your work. I love those.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Have to post them, otherwise you get in trouble.
Well, absolutely. Everyone gets in trouble. Everyone gets in trouble because.
Why didn't you post?
There's 2 things. I always do that, right? There's 2 things, because I want to put people in the shop window, but I also want people to know that they're fucking good. And it's like this, right? Once you start telling people and showing people, and you can verbally say it and verbally write it, then what happens? You internally believe it. If you internally believe it, then there's 3 things that are going to come out of that. You're going to get more certain about who you are and what you're doing and how you're saying it. You're going to get more confidence and obviously presenting and obviously pushing forward and pushing people to where you want to go. And you're going to get the last one is what? So you have confidence, conviction, and certainty. So the last one is going to be the biggest thing as well, because you tie it all together. And the more you tell people what you're doing and how you're doing it, the more you can back it up with actual value and actual evidence. That's just who you are. That's what you do. So it actually does 2 things. Number 1, it shows me that you're learning and developing and winning, but it also shows yourself, which is the most important part. That's the key.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
How's life living in Africa? That's what I want to ask you. That's a good question, isn't it?
Yeah.
Because where are you
I mean,
from? Tell everybody where you're from. Obviously, you're not fucking African. That's obvious because you don't speak like an African. So where are you from?
Originally, I'm from Canada, from BC.
Canada.
I moved to Australia when I was 19, so like 14 years ago. And I lived in Sydney for a long time. And then I moved to Brazil, learned Portuguese, chilled there. And then I've ended up in Uganda. So quite a little world.
It's like what you done without being a weirdo about it. It's like you just had the spin. You had the globe and you started spinning. You close your eyes and you just pointed at something. You just, oh, I'm in Brazil. All right, okay, let's do that. And then you're like spun it again and you're like, shit, how the fuck did I end up down in the end of the world, Sydney?
Now I'm like, how the fuck did I end up in sales? Something that I never ever even thought or considered.
Well, there's all of us. No one knew that we were ending up in sales. I was a fitness guy. I didn't know what sales were until someone said, I'm going to pay you money to bring someone into this fitness program, £35 for a sale. I was like, what the fuck do you mean you're going to give me 35 quid for a sale? I was like, but the program is only 79. You want to give me 35? He's like, yeah, because I just don't want to do the calls. I was like, all right, cool, give it to me, I'll do them. That was it. That light bulb dropped and I was like, oh my God, this is all I'm going to do forever and always. This is how I'm going to make my fortune. This is what I'm going to do. Yeah, and that was how it is. Yeah, and then you ended up in Uganda. It's always either one of two things. It's how I ended up in London. I don't know how I ended up in Amsterdam. I don't want to have that conversation, but it's always two things. It's either love or money. So
actually, in my case, it was party.
Party? How the fuck? Party? I've never heard of party in Uganda.
Kampala is a crazy city. It's like the party capital of East Africa. Tons of international acts come here. Crazy. Like Uganda parties more than any country that I've ever been in.
No, Adam, there you go, buddy.
To the bottom.
On the list. Adam. It's on the list.
There you go.
You'll like it. You'll like it.
It's
not what you think. There's a lot going on. It's thriving.
Plus, if you can get yourself into a position where you're earning 10K months and you're living in Uganda, that's like earning 50K months over here, isn't it?
My rent for the month is one sale. Just. Yeah, so
that's the beauty of it, though. That's the beauty of it. Like, besides obviously the money aspect of it, the big thing for me and the biggest thing that I wanted to highlight today for you, because I know a tremendous amount of people out there are struggling with this capacity of like being completely burnt out, completely exhausted, completely like energy zapped. Like, you think of it, you do 3 calls back to back, and each call is 2 hours. Like, that's 6 hours of literally like coaching and listening to people crying. Like, you do that back to back for even 2 weeks. Like, you hit the end of the week and you're like barely surviving. You know, you're like in pure recovery mode. Whereas what you said to me before we Adam come on and we went live, you're like, I can't wait, I'm going out. I'm like, I'm going for a pizza, I'm going to dance, I'm going to have a beer, I'm going to see some friends, I'm going to just enjoy myself. It's Friday evening. If 2, 3, 4, 5 weeks ago, if you had all of those calls back to back, you did 1 sale a week, the last thing you want to do on a Friday night is see people. Fact, because I didn't. And I know Adam went, you know, so that's what it's all about. It's not just making more money. You know what I mean? It's about getting your life back. It's about doing a very, very, very good job without it taking away everything else, which is your energy, your purpose, your contentment, and everything else. And that's the big thing, you know, and that's what I wanted to really highlight, because it doesn't have to be a slog. You know, it doesn't have to be a drain. You learn the right skills. You understand what you need to do with the consistency. You know, that's where you need to be. That's where you will be, you know. Adam, anything?
Yeah, I'd be curious actually.
Any questions in the group?
None so far. We got some good solid comments. Juan Jose Duarte Rocha. He's been showing us some biceps. I'd be curious, Kessia, how have you seen, because you fell into sales, you never even thought you would be in sales, which means you're not, you know, you wouldn't consider yourself a natural kind of salesperson who was just drawn to it. It's just always how you've been. How have you seen yourself, or have you seen yourself develop or change as a person getting into sales and kind of going through that kind of process?
Adam, she doesn't have all day. What a question.
In a nutshell.
Love it.
In a nutshell.
In a nutshell.
Is she frozen on us?
Oh, that's terrible. That was a great question. I know.
Ah. Because I know what it did for me.
Ask me, I'll tell you.
Oh, she's buggered off.
Oh, she's gone. She
Yeah.
left it.
Oh, nobody wants to listen to you.
Oh
Bill.
no.
Hey, there you go.
Oh, she's back.
I tell you
Adam
before.
actually asked such a great question, and you actually
Yeah. And then I thought it was just getting blank.
Ask it again. We're
Yeah.
back.
I'm
you
used
probably
to
forgetting it.
girls.
Go on, ask it again. Go on.
I'm used to girls blanking me, so it didn't come as a surprise. Just sitting there.
Yeah, just sitting there weird. Just that guy sweating in the corner with his 1 pint that he's been drinking for 4 hours. Yeah, that's Adam. There you go.
I'd be curious to
question,
hear,
will you?
Kessia. I'd be curious to hear how or if you've seen yourself as being someone who was always kind of in hospitality, customer service, going into sales and being kind of confronted with that sort of change of dynamic in the conversation, the way you're interacting with people. How or have you seen yourself develop as a person over the course of those months since October?
I would actually say I've seen myself develop as a person more over the last 2.5 weeks since joining this program in that regard than before. I feel like I saw Ben do an interview, and he said he feels like he was just this like nice guy. And you know what we talk about is the difference between being nice, a nice person, a nice guy, and a good man, or you know, a good woman.
Yeah, we need a good one for the females for that, don't we? Because a nice girl, a good lady.
Doesn't have as good of a ring
land.
to it.
We need to think. We'll come up with one.
You need a female one, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
have you seen that shift though? Have you?
Yeah, definitely. I think it might be a challenge for my partner later down the road if I'm like, can I ask? Let's overcome the person, not the objection.
Yeah,
how do you
absolutely.
Yeah, totally.
Can you tell me that you're not going to buy all the drinks tonight?
Yeah. In what way would you say, if you've seen yourself? I mean, I wasn't expecting you to say that you've developed more over the last 2.5 weeks than anything, but in what way? Like, where's that coming up in other areas of life?
Just in my conversations, in my rationale with other people. I don't know. I think like how Bill was saying before, I was just feeling pretty stagnant. Like everything has just come at a really good time for me. I was burnt out doing all the content writing, which is a lot of time, doing all of the setting, doing everything. And it was just kind of like keeping up, right? And now I just feel invigorated. I have more time. I can take on more calls. I can do more sales. And I just feel challenged. Like I feel like I thought I was learning a skill and I was just teaching myself and really winging it and taking like free shit from NEPQ and dropping that there, but it didn't really work for me, and free shit from here. And now I just have a process that I've just said, okay, I'm going to stick with this process and I'm seeing it work. And it's really freaking cool. Yeah.
You know, the beauty of it as well, Kessia, is I saw you come into the group and I saw you book a call within like, I don't know, 2 hours. I was like, Adam, I was like, this girl is pretty keen. Is she okay? Anyone have a conversation with her already? Like, what's going on?
Yeah.
And I like that because that shows me that it shows me 2 things. Number one, you were in pain. Number 2, you're ready to come out of pain. You know what I mean? And there's going to be a tremendous amount of people out there that would have been in that position and are currently in that position. What would you say to that person? Because I know, as you say, you were burnt out. When I spoke to you, like I could see the energy in your face was gone. I could see you were drained. I could see you mentally were like switched off. I could see the lights were dulling. And I'm not saying that, and I hope you don't take that as an offense, because I'm sure you have a great life. But I could, when you started talking about what you were producing in regards what you were feeling on a daily basis, I could literally see you start to slowly, pull back. And that is a clear sign for me as a coach that somebody is getting punched. Not physically, but I mean like verbally every day. And it's just suffering. What would you say to somebody out there that is in a position where they are not getting what they want and they're literally feel like running up a hill daily, every single day? What would you say?
I would say to do something different and invest in yourself. And like, honestly speaking, all of my family, all of my friends know how stoked I am on this program. I went for drinks with my friend the other day. He's like, whoa, you've been talking about this a lot. I was talking about like credit card and how you can change this and that. He's like, Cass, like, let's just chill it. But seriously, this has been something really exciting for me. I felt really good going into it because for me, I don't make huge financial, or just let me say any financial investments, right? Like it's not, I think things through for a long time. And this was really out of the box for me to be like, nope, this feels good. I'm just going to trust my intuition, trust my gut, and trust that they've got me. And I have felt super, super pumped, super supported throughout. So I would say join the objection box.
Sometimes you got to do out of the box things to get out of the box results, huh?
Yeah.
Do you know why I called it? Do you know why I called it the objection box?
Tell us.
No, I was really asking a question.
Was it your lack of creativity, Bill?
Yeah, that was one of them. I was like, fuck this. I was like, when I started, I was like, okay, I'm really, really good at objections, but it's not all I do. But so how do I come up with some terminology and framework and structure that people will understand without being like, what the fuck was I about me? So when I done it, when I sat down and just thought, like, what if I put everything in a box? What if I just put everything that I know and just wrap it up in a box and just hand it to somebody? They would make a load of money, and they would, like Kessia, obviously be very, very good at what they do very, very quickly. And I was like, fuck it, the objection box. So I was like, if I could start again and if somebody handed me something with everything in it, like that would ultimately change my life quicker than I actually did it myself. I did it in probably 8, 9, 10 months. If I handed everything that I know now, well, just there you go, for argument's sake, you're perfect. 2.5 weeks in, making more sales now than you ever did. I mean, if I just handed all that information and education and experience to somebody, how could I wrap that up? Oh, fuck, let me put it in a box first. That's how it is. So I'm not this kind of magician. It was just like, okay, that makes sense. Fuck it, let's call it the objection box, because that's exactly what we're just going to give them. We're going to give them everything that they need. It's going to be wrapped in a bow. There's going to be no fluff. There's going to be no, like, when like at Christmas, I'll tell you all this before we go. You know at Christmas when like someone is trying to take the piss and they give you a big massive box, and then inside the big massive box there's another little box, and then inside that little box there's what? Another little fucking box. Mm-hmm. And before you know it, there's another fucking little box, and before you know it, you get it something like this, and you're like, you're a fucking prick. Why don't you just give me the box? So I didn't want to do that. I didn't want the fluff. I didn't want all the bullshit. You know what I mean? I just wanted to, if this was all you actually needed, this is all you were going to get. You know what I mean? I wasn't going to give the fluff and the puff and all the rest of the stuff. I was just going to give you exactly what you need, exactly what is going to move the needle as quickly as you need and want it to move, and that's it. There's no more. You know what I mean? There's no more in the essence of, I'm not going to educate you more or anything like that. Meaning, like, I just mean it in a way that I'm not going to like pat your back and tell you you're doing great if you're doing shit. I'm not going to like roll over and make things easy for you just because it won't offend you. You know what I mean? I'm literally going to make sure that if you learn, I'm going to make sure that you're going to earn. And that's the biggest thing for me. You know, no fluff, no bullshit. You know, just straight up give you exactly what you need, when you need it, how you need it to get to where you want to go. That's all we do. All right. So I know Adam's got to go. I got to jump. I got to go back to my kids. I'm supposed to be on holidays. Imagine that. Took the whole of all the stuff. Something that
he lives on holiday. Imagine. He's all right.
Something that I couldn't imagine to do. But no, I definitely appreciate everything you do. And I said to people, watch this girl grow over the next couple of weeks, over the next couple of months. I can guarantee people by the end of 4 months, you will see a different person here. Let's do this. Let's keep each other accountable. Let's do this at the end of 4 months. Let's see where you are. Let's get you back on this call and let's see what you're doing.
I like that.
I'm really excited. Yeah, I'm excited for the future.
Yeah. All right, look, go enjoy your pizza. Go enjoy your wine. Go behave. Don't beat your partner up. Don't just put your ninja skills on him. Be kind to him, because I'm sure he supports you and everything else that you do. So be kind to him. Go buy him a pizza. There you go. I'm sure he'll be delighted with that. But look, again, thanks for watching. Adam, you just go share a pizza with yourself. I got to go and see my kids. But look, thanks for watching. I appreciate the two of you guys massively. Look, if you're out there and you want to know any more about working directly with me or Adam or all of us inside, just come up below. Me or one of the team will obviously reach out. We'll obviously go through the information of what you need to get to the level of income that you want, but also get yourself in a position where your energy is not fucked. All right, that's the key. That's the goal. All right.
Cheers.
Peace, love. Have a great weekend. Adios. See you later. Bye bye.
Cheers, everyone.
Bye bye.
Bye bye.